We
Wake
got it.
up! Wake up!
Hello.
Gotta put a little bit of makeup. Sorry. Oh my God! What's cracking like in Lubian?
Hello. We're going to be live and in person in less than a week.
Right? Isn't it so good? Right?
Yes.
Oh my God! I'm kind of
And we're
like,
going to be hanging out
yeah.
for like two trips in a row, creator camp, and then we got a gig we're doing in Seattle.
Man, listen, I've been like packing all the things and trying to just see what I need to carry and stuff like that. And oh my God, it's a lot. But I'm checking all of the wire, checking all the pieces, looking at the thing that we made, and something just tells me you're gonna get there and be like, ah, snap! It was something really small.
Of
you know,
course,
I
right? And
mean,
that's
but
why,
we always can run out and get things. Seattle's an easy enough town to get things in, but holy crap! And then Katie's freaking me out because she's like, "Hey, we got a delivery coming on Monday, and camp starts on Sunday. So like, what is it?" I'm like, "Yo, everything that I see on my side is all in, right? So there's one package that's coming tomorrow, but everything else I see is all in." And so like, I wonder like, what the heck is it? It might be one of her own, but she's messing with me, and I'm like checking all my stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
Paul, did you send something to Katie's house?
No, I've not that I know of.
Oh God, what did Grandpa do? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. All right, Lou, let's crack it. I got stuff over here on my
Yeah.
table. I'm building my little packing thing over here. Trying to get busy with it.
Cool. All right. Well, because so Doc and I have been to a bunch of like creator events, conferences, things like that. And like while like I've been to events, like Doc is the king. Like it is so amazing to see. So I was thinking it would be a good episode to kind of just interview you on going to creator events and making the most out of it.
Oh,
Making the connections, making just helping the people out
I
before we
like
go to
it.
camp. Those of you that are going to go to camp, but this would apply to, I guess, any party you're going to, I guess. Basically how to
Okay,
be
absolutely
DJ
love it.
Doc Rock.
Absolutely love it. Well, because I think you're right. Like there is. I don't know if there's a special thing. God dang it, Doc, stop doing that. I don't know if there's a special skill per se, but I bet you there is. And I think that's the funny part about the soft skills. And I haven't made this video in a while, and I feel like I need to revisit this video. But so many creators love to talk about the skills that they need in order to become better creators, right? But
Hmm.
one thing the creators never talk about is the soft skills. I think everybody's always into, I need to know how to edit better. I need to know how to film better. I need how to be better on camera. Like, those are hard skills. Not hard as in difficult, hard as in, katong. More scale
Hmm.
hard. There you go. How about that? I mean, that's too scientific for half of y'all, too. I don't even know what the non nerd word is. I only know nerd words. Deal with me. Um,
He's just nerd words. That's it.
Yeah, you know what a Morse scale is, right? Have you heard of that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You
Which
know
one?
when Morse,
Yeah.
Morhs or Mohrs, Morse scale. Anyway, you know when you see the glass for your iPhone, right? They got the 9H glass. That's 9H on the Morse scale, right? Where diamond, of course, being one of the hardest. In physical things as tensile strength, like how long can you pull a string before it pops? Morse scales is the hardness of a particular thing. So anyway, that's nerdy. I don't know why I just went to rabbit hole. But the point
You
is,
did it though.
soft skills are super, super important. And I think so many creators just absolutely get so stuck up on I guess the visual, not visual. See, man, I'm having a hard time with these words here. It's not that it's a visual skill, but it's the skills that you can see, right? The skills that
Yeah.
can be manifested, incarnate, like editing, graphic design skills, writing scripts, working your camera, right? But the idea of having some soft skills, especially in a thing like going to an event, those are some of the big ones. So I think it's important. And I did make
Cool.
a
Yeah,
video about it like a
I
year
got
ago.
the stuff because I've seen it in action and it's amazing. Like, I know how to talk to people, but I'm impressed every time. Like, just like following Doc around, like,
Oh, give me an example.
whoa.
Now I'm curious because see, these things are just automatic to me, I guess. Well, I don't know if they're automatic. I
Yeah.
probably learned them at some
Mhm.
point in time. I think we learned everything, but yeah, what
But you're
would it
more
be?
practiced.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, yeah, whenever you want to go, we can go.
All right, let me
Because we got to get Doc back to packing. He's flying tomorrow. And he's got a lot of things on the
I'm
list.
tired of packing and unpacking, town to town, up and down the dial. Let me stop the recording. Yo, AT is in the building. What's up, AT? Let me restart this. Whew, here we go. Counting it down after I drink this water. Maybe I should have took my Adderall for this. Counting it down in 5, 4.
A lot of creators like to get stuck on the hard skills, right? How do I make the video? How do I film it? How do I edit it? These are the things that will get in their way. But there's so much more to being a creator that is outside of your computer, outside of your editing program, outside of your house. And when you go to an event, you need to be able to communicate some things as far as being a creator, because even if you're not in your studio, you're still a creator. Now, Doc and I have been to a bunch of events together, and it is so wonderful watching him be a creator out in the world. So I told him today, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to ask him about, even though he says, I don't know, I just do it. But it's good
Just a
though.
little
There's
something I
stuff to
threw on.
ask.
A nice ensemble. You stupid.
Like,
You
listen,
mad
when you
stupid.
got it, you got it. I get it. But we want to get a little bit of that too.
Okay. So, okay, you said in the pre-show that it's a marvel to see. And I guess I'm curious what that is. Like not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be glib. Like I don't know. Like what would be an
Yeah.
example of what are you talking about? And then because I know what the soft skills are. Let's say that. Because I've actually made a video about soft skills that I think creators need to know. But I'm curious if you see something that I don't even know I do, right? So, that's why I posit the question
Right.
to you first.
It's how the natural energy that you will bring through the event. Like, so specifically like conferences where there's going to be a lot of people and you're kind of bouncing around. The ability to remember people and make the conversation relevant to them and to you, right? So understanding you're not just there to say like, I'm a creator, what can you do for me? You're like, oh, I'm a creator, you're a creator, or you do this thing, I do this thing. It's like they're conversation skills. And your ability to remember people's names is ridiculous. Like I meet somebody and I'm like, your name again, please. Like that's just something I know personally I'm trying to work on. But the way and the ease that you flow and you kind of catalog these discussions. So as we like kind of go through the questions, like it'll unravel. It'll make more sense because what I'm asking will tell you the things that I pick up, which first, like before going to an event, like this is something that I always have to remind myself. It's like, okay, what's the thing that I'm going to tell people I am or do, because it comes up in these scenarios. What, which I know you naturally do, but what would you recommend to people for preparing before an event? Like what gets
Um,
them in the right mindset?
Listen, this is going to sound beyond crazy, but I want to let you know that it's the real deal, Holyfield. It's something that I tell myself every day. I never I never shy from it. And I've actually had people kind of use it as a dismissive type thing, like you're doing something wrong. And I had to put like, I don't care. Like I just need to close loops, right? I am curious at all costs. I don't believe I'm too big to learn anything. I don't believe that I know it all. It's going to sound funny to people who might think that I think that because I happen to know a lot of crap. But the reason why I happen to know a lot of crap is I don't think I know it all, right? And so I go into everything that I do trying to not just pick up on the basics. I also want to know the minutia. And the reason why I believe this is just the way my brain works. The reason why I believe the minutia is important is the minutia provides foundation for the basics. And that's going to sound weird. The way I just said it out loud, it sounds weird. So, for instance, this is going to sound absolutely crazy. I have a general outside perspective of what it's like to be in the alphabet community. Okay, I've hosted as an MC drag queen pageants in Honolulu for a long time. I've done performances with the drag queens where I have to be in drag, and it's kind of the funny part that I'm the one that's not good at it, but I have to do it with them, you know. And it was a comedic thing that we did at my nightclub, right? All my people who absolutely know that like I'm straight as an arrow, it was more funny to them because I look foolish, where they look amazing because they're so good at it and know what they're doing. Your man's not do a good job at walking the hills. I could mess up some Adidas, but heels, I had espadrilles that was huge, like size 13. That was killing me, bro. I had mad respect after that joint was done. But because I'm so curious, like I didn't feel like I'm too butch to put on these clothes to do this thing, and it was funny to my audience, right? And so I could ask Caleb or Paul or Aubrey a question about what it's like to be on, you know, that side of the fence without being offensive, because I am genuinely curious. And I will even say, I don't know how to say this a nice way, so if I'm wrong, fix it. I'm down to be fixed. But like, what is this, and this? And I can tell you something that I'm deeply ashamed of because it was stupid at the time. At one point in my life, I really did think it was a decision. And I don't know if that was my Christian upbringing. I don't need to blame nobody. That was on me. Never mind trying to blame it on my Christian upbringing. I really did think it was a decision. And then I got set straight by someone that I really, really cared about. And then from that moment, that's really funny to say it that way. I got set straight. But I got corrected.
I was like, he'll catch it.
You know how my brain works. I got corrected, but I'm deeply curious about it. So like, I want to know. Right? So that I don't make idiotic mistakes. And even once in a while now, I'll still say something dumb. You know, we were teasing Paul the other day. He made a joke about something about colored pencils, and he was completely kidding. And then me and Jimmy said, oh, why'd you have to say it's colored? And then Paul got scared. but it was a slip of the tongue. But like, we love Paul, and we know that he doesn't mean anything by it because he's also a member of the others, you know. But I really believe it's super important to go into these things with a level of cherubic curiosity. And if you can maintain that level of curiosity, you're gangster. You don't have to sweat nothing. You're good to go.
Yeah, and that's good for anybody going into anything, is like being curious. And that's a skill that will work for you while you are in your studio and out of your studio. And just in general. I notice in conversations, if you go into conversations and you're like, no, but I want to know about you, it's just so much more interesting, you know, because then people are like, wow, you're curious about me, right? Curiosity is flattering, but also it's fun on the absorbing side, because, you know, I feel like I'm the same, and I'm like, but like, what's your thinking here? What do you mean? What do you mean by this? So when you go in,
wait, before we change, I got one more important thing to remember to say.
Let's go.
Sorry, I'm just typing a message to Caleb. One thing that I think is super important, and I just really figured this out, and I actually got lambasted by somebody in my community before because their thought was, when someone's so Paul says he once had a car and the engine blew up while he was on the freeway and he got stuck, right? And then, you know, after he tells the story, I was like, oh my God, you know, back in 84, I was driving from Georgia to DC, and you know the part where you forget to put the water in the radiator? I seized the engine on the side of the road right about South Carolina, and I was like, wow, miles away from anything, thought I was absolutely screwed. And so somebody made a comment to me, like in the public forum, like, you know, when somebody gives you a story, you don't have to give a story back. You can just accept it. Turns out for ADHD people, if we can relate that story, that tells the other person, we actually heard you. we're listening to you and we're trying to relate to you. We want to understand how you feel because we don't always do good with feelings, as you guys well know, right? And so now that I know this, it makes sense. So it's not an idea of one-upsmanship. I'm actually telling that person that I am right here with you. I feel you. And I felt so good to learn that that's how that's worked because I was a little taken aback, was like, wait, do I always do that? But no, I'm really trying to make it make sense, like what the other person is going through, right? So even if Paul said something to me about one time where somebody did something really, really heinous to him or said something really, really heinous to him as, a Rainbow Coalition, I can only relate it to when somebody said something super, super racist to me, but it's not attempt to one-upsmanship. It's the attempt to say like, hey, I'm here. And so just know that if somebody does it to you, they might be like me, on the alphabet soup. And that's just how we connect to things and make it mean something to us. But because I make your stories mean something to me, you know what I never do? I never forget your damn name.
Because they connect.
Because they connect.
And I think there's a difference, right? Like we can tell when you're having a conversation, like I don't ever mind when people relate it back to them because we are continuing a conversation. It's the difference between like, oh, a similar thing happened to me is different than, well, I had it worse.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's a different thing.
Yes.
Well, you didn't have to XYZ. Like there's like a different texture to it.
Damn, you said that like we got people in our family that do that mess to us.
Oh, really? I wonder.
I love you, Lou. Hi. Welcome to the show.
Well, I do it this,
See, people pay attention to this. One of the things that we didn't know at the time, but why Lou and I click so much, is we have so many shared traumas without even knowing it. But I think I can see the broken in Japan. When you bust a valuable something, they put it back together with gold. It's called kintsugi, right? It's a very special thing. We see each other golden cracks. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, you got one of them too? Yeah, my mom was that kind of lady too. Cool. It's not quite Eminem, but hey, she was up there.
Yeah.
Kim and, Kim was the wife. But M's mom and my mom's might have been friends. But she just didn't do drugs.
We definitely had some sandals thrown at us from time to time.
100%. The chincletas.
Right. The chinelas. Cool. Okay, so when you are having conversations with people, this is what's really, I feel like is where you shine, and it is different than networking, right? Networking is, here's what I do. Okay, this is different. When Doc is out talking to people in these professional settings, he makes it feel still like a party, right? And it's really magical how you get from, I forget who we were talking to, but the Japan thing comes up a lot. Like it'll get to just some kind of other common human thread of like, how do you relate to this person outside of this conference center? And then like a connection happens, right? So when you're doing that, I know that's a natural thing to you, but for somebody who it's not natural to them, how can they get in the right mindset to start practicing that?
Okay, so I listen intently to what people say, and I know that sometimes you might not think I'm listening because sometimes I'm looking down. Sometimes I'm like, doing this with the ring. So like if me and Mary Lou are doing a podcast and I'm talking to her and she's doing this with her ring, she's locked. That is a sign when your broken brain people start twirling things or flicking a pencil, that's a sign that they're locked in. Right? So I key into those signs. I key into the other people's body language to see if they feel uncomfortable. And if I can tell they feel uncomfortable, I will deprecate so that they know that I'm not a danger to them. I have the disadvantage of being a big person with the loud mouth, some little bit of muscles, look like I can knock you out. It's scary. Right? It's definitely scary to people. So the minute that I feel like the other person is a little bit uncomfortable, I would deprecate a little bit. I would lower my stuff. In Japan, it's the bowing or, sitting at the different side of the table, it's making sure that if there's a step and there's a lower step, you stay one step down instead of standing on the same thing. So if there's like a one-step platform and the person is standing there, I'm never going to step up to the platform to have a conversation with them. I need to stay down because that makes me smaller than them, so that way they feel like it's safe. You know what I mean? So if we were standing on the side of the curb and I'm having a conversation with Mary Lou, I might step into the street to let her be elevated. And it just, you don't even know it, but it just puts you in a frame of mind. At this point, I don't even think about it. I do them automatically, right? You know how awkward it gets when someone's a mad close talker? We had a person at camp last year that was a super, super close talker, and it drove Katie crazy. Like, she could not handle it. She doesn't know what to do with that. So I try to back up, or I try to, disengage my body sideways. I try not to, like, shoulder to shoulder to people because I'm bigger than them, and that's intimidating. And, I don't want to seem like I'm, Karen likes to call it looming, right? Where it looks like you're just, towering over somebody. I know Kleb must have a very similar situation because Kleb is 6'4". Kleb is a big bitch. So you got to sometimes, put yourself in a position where you don't. Rob just popped in the chat. Rob is like 6'4", right? Rich is like 6'7". So it's when you would know this, Mary Lou. Sorry. When you're taller, you definitely do things to adjust to let the people feel a little better about themselves. And also, again, just try to listen to what they say and try to connect with them. And I also try to leverage levity whenever I can. Like, I try to be funny. But one thing I don't do, I do not remove, okay, this is going to sound weird. You know the telephone voice and then your regular voice? I am never using my telephone voice in public to people. Because when I go back to gangster, they're going to be like, who is that? So I keep it gangster. And Lou would tell you, we're at NAB. I'll pick somebody from random Chinese company and showing us something hella random cool. And they'll be like, yeah, so the new Hollyland camera is going to be able to do this. I'm like, damn, son, that's gangster. That's sick as fuck. And they're just like, what? But I can't adjust it because later on it's going to seem disingenuous. So I don't go out of my way to act like, Ice Cube, but I also don't try to temper. And so when idiots come up talking about you speak non-standard English, get the fuck on, dog. This ain't for you then. I'm like, all right, because I'm not adjusting that. I just ain't. Right? I will try, with Yolanda and Miss Eileen, they get mad at me when I use the potty mouth. So I do try to back it off, but sometimes I can't help it. It's just how I talk, especially when I'm happy or fired up or in a good mood, So it is what it's saying. And Kleb is right. Kleb said they feel like they're towering all the time over their partner. And yeah, I get the same thing too because my other half is 4'11". And then she's like, you're too close. And I'm just like, wait, what? And because you just forget. Like, you forget to them, it's like there's a chest right above your head. And the only person that can make me feel that way is Corey, tall boy, because tall boy is like 7 feet tall. And it's a very weird feeling when you're around somebody that much taller than you. You know what I mean? So
and you're not used to it.
Yeah.
All right. So like speaking of like stature and height and all of those kind of things, like I know because I am 5'3", but I know I carry myself like I'm taller because when people meet me, sometimes they didn't realize I'm so short.
Yeah.
But that is because I choose to fill up space. I've chosen to take up space. And that's something that I've had to train in, like the opposite where you've maybe had to train to fit into space. Right. I trained myself to take up space and be like, yes, I am here, because there was so much of my life of like, no, be quiet in the corner and hide. It's better if we don't see you. And I'm like, but I'm fabulous. I should be seen. So whatever, that's your problem.
The good analogy would be Ariana Grande versus, say, Kiki Palmer or Cardi B. All of them are under 5 feet. But I'm tell you what, Kiki and Cardi, they walk in the joint, everybody's like, damn. You know what I mean? But like Ariana, she still plays sprightly. You know what I mean? Until she hit that voice and that note go, ah, you're like, that came out of that little person's mouth. But you know what I'm saying? But that's a choice, and you decide how you're going to run with it. And so, for all intents and purposes, as a female, Eden is relatively tall, right? I think she's like 5'6", 5'7". So she probably has to make, adjustments accordingly just for being a tall girl. You know what I mean? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and
Or
it's
Gretchen, who's 6'2".
I would say so with the first NAB we went to. I
Yes.
just went to exist, right? So I didn't really go in with like a do I need to fill up space? Do I need to shrink? I just was like, I'm going to basically be a shadow. And I learned a lot from that experience in watching Doc kind of interact, but then also how the industry interacted with me. It's totally different than the next year where I was like, okay, cool, I understand, but I also understand the container that we are walking into, and that I do need to inflate a little bit. And not to say you need to like be like egotistical, but you do need to understand that you do take up space, right? And come with your confidence and come with what you have to offer and not shrink down unnecessarily, right? So it is this game which does come from practice, but that's why I really like watching other people do it, because I would say like with most groups I'm ever with, I'm the one that's outgoing and going to talk to everybody. So in most circles in my life I have been in Doc's position. So that's why I think our friendship's really fun, because I get to kind of stand back and be like, whoa, is this what it's like?
Yeah.
Is this what it's like to be around a superpower? And like you just have these conversations. So who in the comments, somebody said something not a fan of networking.
Paul
Paul.
Heater.
Now, it's not, I think it's a how you're thinking about networking. When it's networking of like, I need to go and collect all these business cards for what? Okay. Like, interesting. Now we go in and we had a plan. We're like, okay, we want to talk to Sandisk, we want to talk to Hollyland, we want to talk to Ceramonic, we want to talk to DJI. We go in with a game plan, but not like it's not really an attack. It was like, this is where it would be nice to make some friends. And I think that
Yes.
is kind of where it's different. Like we're going in, we're like, where can we go? Just make some
We're going to
connections,
build different
make some friends.
relationships. Yeah. Well, you realize
Yes.
that one time I went as community manager. And then the next time I went as director of strategic partnerships. It's a different conversation because like my whole
Different
entire job
conversation.
is to build partnerships with these people. But I also want to take you back to something you said, and I want to make sure that you hear it clearly as well as others. Because like I said, we don't care if they're listening. At this point, we're unsticking ourselves. You
Yes.
said you went the first time to exist. And I just got to say, no matter how much I love you, that was the wrong way to approach it. And I tell you why.
It was. I
Right?
agree. Yeah.
Because you got treated like you was just there. But the second time, knowingly or not, or maybe this is a post-mortem, you went like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be Mary Lou. I need to show these hoes who I'm is. And you got treated like Mary Lou, like one word star. You know what I'm saying? So you went in with the presence of Cher, being a one word star, and you got treated like a one word star. Prince, you know who they all are. Bjork, that's my favorite. But I was trying to think of some more. But when you go in with that level of this is why I'm here, this is why I'm hot, right? You're gonna get treated that way. But when you I know Eden is one in the type, Lisa or Jenny in the chat, stop it, Eden. But when you go in with I'm just going to be here and see what happens, you will see exactly what happens. So, I mean, to make sure that you hear that clearly and make sure that they hear that clearly. If you go to camp like, oh, I might learn something, you're going to might learn something. But if you go to camp like, I'm fitting to go in there and I'm coming back head on swole, you'll come back on head on swole. Like, intentionality is everything. Like, it's absolutely everything.
Yes.
I told myself I'm going to make this videos every day for a year and I won't even blink an eye. Guess what I ain't did yet? I ain't blinked a single day. If I went in saying I'm going to do 365, oh my God, this is going to be hard, this is going to be crazy, I'm going to run out of ideas, I'm never going to know what to record, whatever, I would have been stuck a long time ago. But I went in, I walked outside with my junk in my hand. Like, come on. And that's how it feels to me. At this point in time, it's almost muscle memory, which sounds crazy, but is what it is.
Yeah. And I appreciate that you circled back to that, because it's like it was an intentional choice, and then in the like looking back at it right after the fact, that's why I changed the strategy for the next time. Was like, okay, that wasn't the right way to go about it, but I also had a way modeled, right? And like some people could, you can go into these situations, it's never been modeled to you what you could do, what it would look like, how you could act, how it could be. And then I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I get it. I see.
You see what
Let's
Kleb wrote?
go with this
Kleb
different
said,
energy.
when I go with the mindset of I'm just going to exist, I also shrink myself. And it's funny
Hmm.
because believe it or not, I do that too. Like I get told, okay, I have to go to this wedding thing, or I got to go to some realtor event with Karen, or I have to go, do something like the family event. We're gonna go to like the little Okinawan picnic or whatever, and I just go to exist, and I shrink myself too. Like it's weird. That's like it is. You don't even realize you're doing it, maybe, but you do.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Or you know what really hurts me is when we roll up. Let's just say we're at an event, we're at a booth, right? We're talking to Nick over at the Newer booth at Newer. I'll say it that way. We're at Newer booth. We're talking to Nick. We're having a good time, and then somebody will pop up, and then there's a dude standing there, and then there's a girl standing there, and so I always like engage the other half first too. I was like, "Oh, so how you liking the event or whatever?" "Oh no, I'm just here. I'm just here following him." And I'm just wanting to yell at her so bad. I would be like, "Nah, girl, you're not just here. You're making him look good because otherwise he look like a dork. That outfit he got on, you probably picked it. His organization skills, you probably handled that. Like, don't do that." You know what I mean? Like, I almost want to correct her, but it ain't none of my business, so I stay out of it. And I've actually seen you and Jill, correct them because it's easier for you guys to do it. I've actually seen you correct the other half that's standing around like, no, 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 you got your own thing. You do this or you speak up. I've seen you coach people into going to pull a ticket for the prize drawing or, like raising their hand if they got a question. I've actually watched you guys do that. So also important, basically what Caleb said. If you go to exist, that's exactly what you finna do. Bingo.
Hmm. And then if you're someone who is going and you do see somebody who is maybe they're just existing, if you are there and you got the extra juice and hopefully that you try to bring them in, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
again, they might not have ever had it modeled or felt a little bit of the sugar that comes with like the sweetness of like when you actually go and show up as you
Yeah.
and then go from there. So when you go to events, when you first started, was it stiffer? Like, were you a little more like, I am here to network, and then it evolved? Because like you were going with your family, right? You were going with your dad
Oh, it
to
was
NAB
normally
for
it would be
forever.
me and my brother, or I would just go by
Mm,
myself. My brother would attend different conferences. Um, I never got to attend with my dad. That would have been more fun because it would just blow people's mind when
mhm.
they'd be like, "Wait a minute," because dad's Korean,
Mhm.
right? So they would have been tripping. They'd have been like, "What the? Well, explain this. None of your business. I'm talking about camera."
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, right? So that would have been just funny in general, but he is so good and he knows so much. But even for him, like he was always afraid that, his accent or his inability to speak perfect English is going to be a thing. And I was like, yeah, but you know more than half the people on the floor, dude. Like you're crushing me by not wanting to come. I would have enjoyed going with my dad and we would have had a blast. So I tried to, listening to somebody who was as knowledgeable and as powerful as him, like take themselves out of it for those fear reasons was a model example for me not to do that. Like some people take the examples from their parents and they own them. I took the examples from them and like they meant well, but that didn't serve them either. So I'm gonna unsubscribe, episode 2. We're gonna unsubscribe from things that don't help me get what I gotta get done. So that's a first and foremost. And I wanted to say something real quick too on that same note. Um, the person that was an asshole to you 2 events ago is no longer any of your business, right? So, for instance, I've been at events where I'm pick on Juju because she just popped up and I just want to say hi to her, so I'm gonna just use her name. So Juju's at this event and she's vibing, she's getting all of the stuff that she needs, and then maybe Eden is asking too many questions, according to Juju. According to Eden, she's getting the answers to the questions that she's got. But Juju's going, damn, if that girl asks another question, I swear to God, I'm going to roll over her toes with my wheelchair. Luckily, Eden got big feet. It'd be pretty easy to do. So, I'm sorry, Eden. So, she's getting angry because that's a reflection from like 2, 3 conferences ago or high school where that one bitch Stacy just always tried to like overtalk her or whatever. What happened to you then is not now. You have to treat each event as a brand new event. And when you see somebody that models that Eden from before, it's not the same person. Like, don't attach that baggage. Like I always say this, I used to hate when people would say to another person, well, he's just like this because my ex was always like this. That person's not your ex. This is a brand new situation. Are you looking at it with the same lens? Or are you looking at it with tainted glasses? And if you're looking at it with tainted glasses, that's hurting you more than the way you feel about that other person. You really have to go into each one with a brand new thing. And the second one, I'm like, if you feel that somebody is occupying the conversation, you bitch, then speak up. You can't say the other person is asking too many questions when you ain't asked none. Now, there is the people who just ask dumb shit so they can be heard. They exist, and I understand that. But the best way to silence them is for you to ask something. So too many people feel like too many other people are asking too many questions, and they got questions, but they never ask them. They're too shy. And that's just not a good plan. You got to speak up. If you got a question, family, you don't ask while the expert is standing there. Are you on drugs? What are you doing?
What are you even doing?
What are you even
doing?
And
Okay, so go ahead.
no, I just wanted to say hi to Juju. Thank you for letting me use you as an example.
You had mentioned from the two different times that we went to NAB, you had different titles. So you, from working at a company, you're coming in with an identity to kind of to work with, right?
Yes.
Now, those of us that are creators, but it's a little bit more nebulous, we have to make a choice on who we are in the context of this event, right? So if I'm going to go to, like a Hollywood party, I don't know, right? Maybe the context of what I'm doing there is different. Honestly, when I'm going to like Los Angeles entertainment industry events, I say I'm an accountant because I don't want to talk to them about being a creator because they immediately are saying, oh, you can make my podcast for me. So I've done that for years. I'm an accountant. And then
nobody wants to talk to the accountant.
And they're like, huh, oh, all right.
Okay, bye.
Which was so funny when it got popular. It got popular on TikTok that saying you're accountant is code for saying you're a stripper, so because you don't want to talk about being a stripper, so you just say you're an accountant. Which I was like, what? That's what people were thinking the whole time, which is fine too, because I kind of was. But in like a creator event, I tried like the first couple times of like, I'm a creator and like, let's see what kind of comes up. But the last NAB we went to, I was like, great, I'm going to have, I specifically picked a topic and a target market. So I'm a creator that talks about creator tools for millennial women. Like I went bop, 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 and like got that into like a quick little thing. So when people are like, oh my gosh, what do you do? Because people are curious about what you do, because that's part of what we're there to kind of learn about everybody. But when you don't have the title from the job, right, then it is helpful to kind of come with something. But now if you are coming with a title from a job, what's good, like what I see with Doc, he is head of strategic partnerships?
Director of strategic partnerships.
Director of strategic partnerships, and also a creator, also an accountant. Which one's the side job? We'll never know.
Holla back, youngin'. Whoop, whoop. So, man, you just said so many factual statements there. It's kind of incredible. So I'm looking for this thing that we got, and I asked Caleb the person's name because Clay Herbert was the name of the guy who did the talk at KIT, which was so good. But it was basically about like introducing yourself properly. And I tell you, people all the time, they struggle with this. And one of the dumbest things that you always hear is you got to have your little elevator pitch. And it's like, no, I don't think elevator pitch is the right words. It has like a weird connotation to it. And it also kind of sells you short. So I was looking for if I had the basic breakdown how he did it, but he gave a similar formula to what you did. My name, what I do, and who I do it for. It's something like that. And if not, just go to internet and look up Clay Herbert and look up introductions. I'm sure the talk that he gave at KIT Studios, he also gave the talk many other times because that's what happens. And it was brilliant. Like it really, really was brilliant. And you got to sort of remember that you're the one who's introducing yourself. And okay, here's an example. So we're gonna go to camp, and I'm going to say Sandy, what is it that you do? Right? Hey, hey, guess who's in the chat? Caroline. So I'm gonna go to Caroline and say, hey, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I make crafting videos. Full stop. Not the right answer. Right? She's going to say, I make crafting videos for, Gen X people who are looking for a connection in a deeper conversation. We just happen to be doing it through crafting. All right, that's an answer. That's the answer we're looking for, right? Um, or Judah's gonna be like, I'm giving you my adventures of what it's like to live every day, dealing with people in the way that I get instantly judged or whatever. I'm trying to help other people see that, I'm just as capable as the next people, right? So we're sort of saying like how you do it, right? So my answer is plain and simple. I teach Gen X creators how to stop being scared by the stuff their parents told them and tell their own stories. That's it. I'm on a mission to positively impact the lives of a billion people, and I'm going to do it through getting Gen X creators to come out and do that thing. Right? Simple as that. And so if you can do your talk like that, and Mary Lou, you said it, like I help, millennial women do X, like you name it what your target is and what the outcome is. That's the way to do it. If you are Elmer Fudd about it, yo, they gone. Especially with my brain, yo, I'm already gone. Like, you got to tell me what you got to tell me. You got to tell me quick because I done already lost it. So realizing that we don't wear a badge, you don't know who you're talking to. So make sure you're getting it impactful and a little bit curious. So there's a follow-up question.
Yeah. So I found his
I saw it.
TEDx
Nice.
talk and did like a summary. And so the basic thing is I help people achieve result or become something, which shifts the focus from self to impact. So
Yes.
like I help people unlock their genius. I help people tell stories worth spreading, which is like, who do you help? It's basically the Instagram bio formula,
Yes.
which I don't think is quite right in an Instagram bio, but it is for quick conversation because like you don't want to have buzzwords. You want to explain it like it's to a 6-year-old,
Oh my God.
something that they
Somebody
can
says
get
synergy.
right
I want to
away.
punch him.
Who
Sorry.
said synergy?
No, when somebody says, I help people get together through synergy, and I say, Pep, shut up. What? Explain synergy.
What do you mean by that? Oh, there's
Yeah,
like my
like, come
eyelash,
on.
something's happening.
Like,
So with that though, you can tailor it from event to event. Okay. So my basic thing is I want to boost confidence and help women feel like exist better, millennial women, women 40 and up. Okay, so depending on the context, NAB is a tech conference. I help millennial women understand creator tech tools. All
nice. I
right.
see what you
If
did there.
I was at this other like women in post event, right? Which like I didn't get to, but like if I was gonna go to that, it was going to be like I help women over 40 who are moving on in their careers start content or start a podcast, right? Like there's different like it's the same, but you can tailor it, right? So for creator camp, I haven't quite thought about it yet because I don't know, I feel like that's just like our friends, that's like a party. So basically I'll just be one word celebrity. I'm just like, I'm Mary Lou.
But wait, I want you to
And
hear what you
and they'll
just
figure it out from
said.
there.
Wait, I want you to hear what you just said. They are our friends. You know
Mm-hmm.
what friends tend to do? Forget to remind people how dope you are. So you got to remind them how dope you are.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they'll forget to remind you, right? So, for instance, I got, a moving company. Me and Eden got the K-pop moving company. And then the friend was like, oh, my sister was moving house, man. I totally forgot you guys did that. I should have sent her to you. Man, that's the biggest slap in the face ever. And that's because we get too comfortable with our friends and we don't remind them what we're going to do. And the reality is, true friends will bring you clients because they need you to succeed so that you can pay for dinner next time.
And I will say, like, there's been so many times where people are like, "Oh, I didn't know you do that." Because we're on the internet all the time, but not people aren't all on the internet all the time. We're like steeped in everybody has a podcast, but everybody doesn't have a podcast,
Yep.
right? Or, whatever the thing is that you're talking about. Because you're on the internet and all you do all day is watch cat videos. And then I'm like, wait, you don't have a cat? What? How do you not have a cat? We all have cats. There's so many cats. But also, dog
Not,
life is crazy, y'all. That's
now
a
that
whole
you're
other
learning how to be a
conversation.
dog person, it's got to be jacking your world up. It's so different.
I
It's so
do not
different.
like it.
Oh my
It's
God.
not for me. This morning I'm walking the dog. Okay. So like I wasn't in the mindset for talking to people, but I've learned dog life. You got to always be in the mindset to talk to people because it's like I just got out of bed to get this dog outside so he, doesn't go all over the house. And we're walking and I'm just like, I don't know. What is my life? I have so much to do. And then people are like, oh my gosh, hi. Oh my gosh, we're going to the
Yeah,
dog park. Oh my gosh. And I was
that
like,
is a
wow,
good
it's different
conversation
energy,
tool. They love to talk to each other. Here, the park is like maybe two
which is
blocks, not
great.
even a block and a half from here. So they all
Hmm.
congregate, and the dogs all running around sniffing each other's butts, and the people just sit there holding their Stanley cups, and they just have full ass
Yes.
conversations. So they don't even live in the same buildings because we got like about 5 condos in the couple block radius, and so like they legit meet at the park every day. And they talking with each other. People, the newborn is in the basket. Like everybody's like, oh, look at little Kathy, how she's doing. Oh. So it's funny because I watch them commiserating, and I'd be like, dang, I should bring Osaka home so I can go over there and talk story with them. But I'll be on my stroll. So sometimes in my videos you'll see them because I walk past them every time. And it just becomes a thing. But yeah, it's a very good conversation tool. It could be the same thing at a conference, so we're walking by, and like, I have my DJI Osmo Pocket, Mary Lou got hers, Paul got his, and then Paul got his encased inside the Scotty Make stuff, the big dude. And somebody's like, hey man, what is that thing on your case? Because when I had it on mine, everybody would say the same thing, right? So that even breaks ice, that breaks conversations, right? So you want to put yourself in the position, but look like you're open to be spoken to. Like if you go there with that, like, oh, I'm scared and I'm closed off, you're gonna miss those connections. You know what I mean? And again, the person that told you to be like that, they're not there. So they can't see you. If they are there, blink 3 times and I'll scare the shit out of them because they holding you back.
Okay. So for you, what off the top of your head, if there's a conversation happening and it's either dwindled or you don't know how to start or not that you don't know how to start the conversation. And this is why I'm asking you because you do know how to start the conversation. The conversation is kind of dying. What is something you get people to talk, get them out of their shell? That's not, of course, like you don't do this. Well, what do you do?
Oh God, that is such a weird conversation about what do you do. I'll think,
I eat,
oh,
I sleep. What?
sis, listen, remember we went into, okay, we watched the ceremonic joint, right? And then we was waiting to talk to Davina, but she was busy. So we went to the round table, and then there was the brother from the UK who was there,
Hmm.
and then there was the
The
climber
artist.
photographer girl, right?
Mhm.
And then so we just went over to their table, and then he had something on his camera was just like sick, and I was like, dude, I can't believe you have that. It was one of the Fuji's, right? And I just
It
started
was like
asking.
purple.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
purple, right? And I was like, yo, purple is my thing. It's like kind of crazy. So we were talking, just instantly we broke the conversation talking about that. And then when I heard his accent, I'm like, okay, before we go any further, you're from the UK? And he was like, yeah, how can you tell? I was like, haha, you got jokes. What football team do you support? And he was like, oh, Arsenal. And I was like, nah, dog, this conversation's over. And he's like, why? I was like, yo, I'm dyed in the wool Man U fan. I got to go. And then he just started laughing. And then we ended up kicking with him. And then the climber girl was like, I take photographers out to climb and show them how to take pictures climbing that's safer, more pretty, and I take them to different locations. Now, this is something that you don't hear about, right? So we started digging into that conversation. And, we all started connecting. By the time it was over, you'd have thought we came together. You know what I mean? So I would just find something that's in the visual periphery and again, be genuinely curious about it. Like, dang, Mary Lou, what kind of cover is that on your microphone? Is that purple? I ain't never seen
Hmm.
one of those. What the heck is that?
That's what these visual markers like this, right? Like having a little bit of flash. When you guys see me, like I love wearing my bright red lipstick. Like that is intentional sometimes because it's like a thing that people can grab to and ask about or say something or like bridge a gap or break the ice, right? Or like even an interesting piece of jewelry or when people wear shirts of the teams that they like or like an anime that they like. All of these things are social markers to kind of like be like, "Oh, well tell me about that." Like I'll see somebody wearing a shirt and I'm like, "Oh, that's a neat shirt." And they're like, "Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh?" I'm like, "I don't. Tell me about it. Let me know. Like, what do you like about it? What is it? And
That's cool. Yeah,
then you
you're
find
good at that
things.
next question. You're really, really good at the
Hmm.
next question. Janice has a couple of good ones that I actually like. Like, what exciting things do you have coming up? That's different from what are you
Hmm.
working on, right? But that's a really
Hmm.
cool one. She did say you could say what are you working on, but I do really like what
Ah.
exciting things do you have coming up? And it's like
What's your sign?
that was
Like, did that
hilarious.
eclipse mess you up? That's what I want to ask.
Yeah, like it's super funny, right? So I also, you know, like it'd be as dope because it's a conference and they're showing off stuff. What is the coolest thing you've seen so far? That one always works because
Hmm.
so you find out stuff that you didn't know you needed to go see. There's like, oh man, I was just over there and so and so and so and so. When you're standing at the long line at the hotel bar and you're getting ready to order the drink or whatever, I'll be like, I was gonna get a plain whiskey, but I think I might try something a little bit special. What do you got? What do you got that's different? What's a drink I haven't tried I should try? And they'll be like, oh, you got to try whiskey shots with the pickleback. And I'm like, pickle what? And it's like, yeah, the pickleback. And I was like pickle juice? And I was like, yeah. So instead of getting like a water back or whatever, you get a pickleback. And I was like, well, shucky darn, I ain't never heard of such foul things. And then the person was laughing because that was the most terrible Texas accent. And they go, tell you what, I'll get it for you, and then we'll take it together. You tell me what you think. And I was like, no, 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 it's cool. I can get it. It's like, nope, I insist. It's Texas. This is how we do it. I was like, okay, cool. So dude busts out the shots. So we got the Johnny Walker with the pickleback, and then you hit it, and then you hit it, and I'm just like, oh, Mary, this is off the chain. He's like, told you. Oh, where you from? And I'm like, oh, I'm from Hawaii, but my company's Boston. This is my man Mike, and then my homie Rich is coming to meet us. And we would just end up talking story, and then me and Mike was getting ready to get some food, and then the dude was like, oh, order the chicken sandwich because they brine the chicken in pickle juice. But like, you know what I mean? Something as simple as instead of just standing there looking at the menu like a donkey, ask somebody. Ask the bartender even. Bartender's whole job is to talk to you. They're really good at it. And maybe I'm good at it because I did bartend for a little bit. Now,
Hmm.
see, why you make me figure it out? Shut up, woman.
Yeah.
Go
But like,
away.
but like, so I think like service industry really does help you a lot, right? So
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
the stuff that I know is from being a waitress. And like when you go up to a couple, I will always try to talk to the woman first because one, that's my girl, whether she knows it or not. But also that's like where I can connect because it always like if you like talk to the guy first, then it's like it just there's so many ways like it can unintentionally get interpreted, even if you did not mean it at all.
This is
Right.
gonna sound really mean. This is gonna sound really mean, but it was something that I was super good at, and it just happened to work for me. So I always kept doing it, and it's not intended to be mean, so nobody get mad. But people's like how you manage to be friends with like each and every person that comes to your club. When a group of 5 new people come, I talk to the one that's most likely not to get spoken to first,
Hmm. But
right?
that's like a good thing. Yeah.
Right. So if you have this group, and this is mean, but say you got a room and you got 10, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5. You address the 5. What are you guys
Mm.
doing here today? Like, oh, yeah, what's your name? Okay, Stacy. All right, Stacy. Why am I always picking on Stacy? I like Stacy. Listen,
Always Stacy.
I got you, and which one of your friends you want to come in to? And it's like, oh, we all came together, whatever. Okay. And I just go to the bouncer, and I'm like, hey, Kavika, Stacy is VIP. Whatever she wants, hook her up. And all the other girls are like, wait, what? How do you know him? I don't. He just, whatever. And it's like, I would always go out of the way to elevate that person. You know what that person does? Become your biggest fan. And they will bring every week a new set of baddies to the spot because they got juice. For the first time at the spot, they're the ones with the juice. And then, Kaylee, who always get hit on, she always get free drinks, whatever, she's nothing. She's at the back of the list.
Yeah.
Total game changer.
And it's also even like that when we're going to booths, right? Like we can look for the marketing person, right? But just who's there who like maybe people wouldn't typically talk to.
Yeah.
Which was surprising with like some of the experiences with at the first NAB where I was like, oh, why would nobody talk to me? Was interesting, right? But it was going in with a different like angle. But you'd think like if there's one girl who walks into your booth and it's all men, maybe somebody go ask her a question when she's like, "Hey, please talk to me."
Club Life
But when
101,
we would go,
if you go to the club expecting all the dudes to be the dick, you're going to find all the dicks. If you go to the club expecting to meet some really nice people, you'll meet really nice people. Like you set that intention and you put up the guard that says, I'm trying to block the dicks. And the dicks see it as a challenge. But if you put up the front, I'm going to just meet a lot of people, then you're open and people want to talk to you. So believe it or not, the last thing you say to yourself is the most impactful. So it really is a mindset shift. And, I always go in, try to remember people's names. I like to say something about it. Half the time, I make up people's names. If I make it up, it is what it is. And they be like, why do you call me that? Because I never forget it. I made it up. Like, it just happens. And then they laugh. And some people have turned it into their official names now. They go by it. Like, it's kind of funny, but it's just something that I've always done because I have these weird little pictures in my head that, sort of match for me what that person is, right? And then it just helps you remember. So, yeah, it's really cool.
good. This is like a lot of really helpful stuff here. And if anyone in the chat or watching, if you just want to spit out if somebody asks you what you are for the next event that you're going at, or if you just met someone in the coffee shop today, what would you say? Like I'd like to just see it because like the practicing of it is what is helpful. And I would do before events. Like I do this with Will, I do this with my sister. Like when we're going to an event where there's just people we might not know, even if it's just a party, I'm like, if somebody asks you what you do, what do you say? Are you choosing accountant today? Like sometimes I just choose that, right? Because I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like talking about it. But other times then you go in and you're like, yeah, I have a creator business.
Like I am a stuntman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's actually kind of interesting. People ask follow-up questions.
Do you have like a safe word to help me get out of this conversation? Or like if I put my badge over here, come and get me. Just because you definitely get the people just like, yo, I need to get out of this conversation. Come and get me. I think I was lucky because Mary Lou, Eden, and her cat would just grab me and be like, Doc, let's go. I was okay, I go. Bye. It was super funny. They were quick about it, bro. They were just like, lasso this food, let's get. We got to get to our next thing. So it's kind of cool when you get to go with a crew or a posse. Like it really does help. And it does provide a different level of energy because we go in. We went to booths that were like dead, and then we left the booth popping off. Because when we get to the booth and we start acting foolish, having fun, other people come to the booth. You know what I mean? So I feel like we're also doing these smaller booths of service because we're bigging up their products. Or I'll see people walking by and say, hey, you got to come try this, But that also
like
happens to
the
us.
bat mitzvah hype team.
Yeah. That happens to us. We're walking past a
booths.
booth and somebody's in there and say, hey, you got to try this. Then we stop and we try it. Like that Velcro that we found that wasn't Velcro, but it was mad stronger. It was just a random walk by and somebody else told us to try it.
And Paul with the timer machine?
Oh, Paul with the timer machine. Listen, man, I'm mad at Paul. I'm like, I can't. Paul was like, bam, 10. What you want? Anybody want something to drink? I'll be here all week. I was like, damn, he did it.
But it's like we walked by that booth so many times because it was right next to Insta 360 where we were hanging out a lot.
Oh yeah, they were side by side.
And right, so like a lot of people are looking at the big Insta 360 booth, and like we didn't even know that was a game. It was there the whole time. But then when Paul started playing it, then everybody's like, like we had a crowd who were watching.
We had people standing
like,
in line
amazing.
to play after. Yeah, it was super, super funny.
Yeah.
So you got to go with a
really
level
good.
of energy and curiosity. Like, yo, I'm going to go have some fun. I'm going to handle this. I'm going to learn some things and set yourself up. Like, and I think a big one is absolutely do a postmortem because it's super easy. And I think it's better to do the postmortem daily. Like even if you're just by yourself in your room, whatever, crack the microphone and just talk about it. Like make sure you get it out of your head because it will stick a little bit better. If because nothing sucks more than to get back and then kind of forget. And so even when we started this, like I kept telling myself to remember Clay's name, and I couldn't remember Clay's name, but I knew it wasn't a normal everyday man's name like Chris. So it was kind of close, but it wasn't Caleb, but it kind of seemed like Caleb because I say Kleb. And I was like, what is it? And so luckily we were able to find it because this is definitely somebody in this particular conversation. Everybody needs to go watch that TED Talk to get yourself in the right frame of mind to go do these sort of things, whether it's at camp or just surfing the web. Even how you introduce yourself in the chat. If somebody comes up to you and say, hey, what's your channel about? What do you do? I would probably maybe even go as far as to make that a Apple keyboard shortcut or a text expander snippet or whatever so that you get that response out quickly because the host is more likely to say that live than if you got to sit there and type about it because you're not used to typing it. If you type it so often
What?
that you can crank
Say
it
it
out
again.
in a couple of seconds. Okay, so say your thing again. You do what?
All right. Explain creator tech to millennial women.
Okay, so you're going to take that I explain creative tech to millennial women, and you're going to go to Apple keyboard replacements, and then you're going to go like WWMLD, right?
I
Because you're
see. I
never
see.
going to type that otherwise, right? And then so every time somebody asks you in the chat what you do, you're just going to go WWMLD. It'll spit it out, hit enter. Because that response was so quick, the host is more likely to then grab that response, put it on the screen, and be like, oh, I see, Mary Lou, you explain creative tech to millennial women. Make it easy. Like, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So have that, like, the fact that you even take the time to put that on the keyboard shortcut, even if you
No, it's
never
in there.
expand that keyboard shortcut, you locked it in the Malone post.
My favorite keyboard shortcut that I ever set up was the letters F and U, which will expand out to thank you for the engagement. That was just like a self-protection thing. Oh, I shrunk my chair. Oh no.
Oh, dude, that's funny. That's funny.
Okay.
Like when you want to cut somebody out, it automatically switches back to something nice. I need to do that.
Yep.
I'm like, these
Yep.
damn stupid
It's been
people.
saved me lots of times.
I was like, these damn stupid people should convert to, well, they just didn't know, Doc.
So another thing that you can do, which Doc's very, very good at, is if you can do it, and if you're ever thinking about it or you're stuck, I don't know, like is any situation where you can put the spotlight on someone else who's standing with you. Right? If you're having a conversation, it's you and this person, and there's someone else who's not talking, like how you're aware, how can you bring them in? How can you bring
I
them
have to do that to our friend that's hanging out with us in the chat because she be in the cut quiet. But that's because she holding her hands on the knife just in case things get out of hand. She has her Detroit stance ready to go. But I'm always like, yo, AT is amazing at what she do. You should see what she does, blah, blah, blah. I always do that to AT because she's actually really good at what she does. She's super curious.
She got the knife ready. It's right
Yeah,
there.
she got her knife ready. Look, she got her little cutter. Like she be ready. So like we were in Orlando and man, Luis and AT were holding fort, bro. They were holding the boost down so good. And then it was funny because she was telling Luis, like, damn it, I be trying to explain stuff to people. I sound like Doc. This getting on my nerves. And I was just laughing at her. But it was super funny because number one, it feels good that like at least I'm helping in some way. But then also that she's able to now, instead of be just a student, can turn around and be the teacher because she now has the confidence in what she's doing to go show somebody else how to do it. And it was really cool to watch them shine in that particular moment. And even Ken was like, man, Alicia's really good at this. And I'm like, yeah, I know, told you. Of course, I was smart ass and I say, guess who taught her how to do it, And then Ken was like, shut up. So, but I think you're right. It's really cool when you can do that, when you can like sort of pass the duchy to the left-hand side. Because then that lets the other person know that you're also open for them to be part of the situation, right? You're kind of being inviting. It's almost like the come in, take your shoes off type of situation.
Yeah, and then being aware, right? This was like so fun where we were at one of the NAB like after party things, and I'd mentioned something to someone, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you got to meet this person," and just like dragged me like beeline to these other people, which like was so interesting. It's like I don't know everybody yet, so it was like cool to be on the experience side of that kind of thing, right? So it's like to hope like when you do know enough people that you can do that, where you're like, you know what, you should meet this person.
I
We
believe
let's
dot
let's bring you over
connecting is
here.
super important. I'd love to be a dot connector. I think it's one of the most important things that you can do because it helps you foster relationships with the people that you built relationship with because you are referring, similar to what I said earlier, but it also just deepens the connection with the new people too because you went out of your way the first
Mm-hmm.
time they met you to connect them with somebody who could actually help them. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so even if you're in the booth, like we are, and this person comes up and they're saying, "Hey, I want to find a way to put like, pro level lenses on my camera. Do you guys make that?" And they'll be like, "Oh no." And then we'll be like, "Oh yeah, hold on, wait a minute. Let me take you over to the Freewell booth, or I'll show you where it is." It's like you go down, you hit the Amaran booth, and then you make a sharp left, and then you go about 3 booths in, and you'll see the Freewell booth. Go over there and talk to Nathan. And they were like, "Okay, thank you," because they got exactly what they want. So if you're able to do that, you just open up. Strangest thing happens next day, maybe at the after party, maybe at the taco joint, you'll see that person and they'll come by and tell you thank you. You'll strike up a conversation. And now every time you go to the show, you see the people that you know because you actually helped them get something that they wanted to get did. You know what I mean? It even stuff like, "Hey, Paul, where'd you get that big ass yellow bag?" He goes, "Oh, it's from the Instant 360 booth." I know like 8 people must have asked Paul where he got that jack. That bag is like this huge, bro.
I just found mine. I was like, wow, what
I,
you
I
can't do
just found
anything with
mine
this.
too. That's why I thought about it. But I swear, because, Paul's big and he's standing in the aisle, right? Because he tried not to be in the way. And so everybody, "Well, hey, where'd you get the bag?" And then, or the Osbod bag. We had the nice, the Osbod bag.
Mm.
Everybody want to know where you got the bag from. So even something as simple as that is a good way to break the conversations. And people always trying to read and see your badge, see what you do. Yeah. So, yeah, very cool. That's super funny. I'm just thinking about that
This
huge
was
ass
good.
yellow
It's really
bag.
helpful. I hope you guys get some inspo from this on how to like approach whatever your next event is. Like, I don't know, practice it at the grocery store, right? Like, don't creep on people in the grocery store, but you get what I'm saying. Like, try to talk to some people.
I creep on people
Practice
in
in
the
the low
grocery
stakes
store.
situations.
I'm
Yeah, I
like,
mean, I do
"Have you
too, but
tried this brand before?" And they're like, "Yeah." Or the one that says Safeway is actually better. All right, cool. Thanks. I appreciate it. I always ask
great.
people stuff like that, because especially at Costco. Costco always have all kind of
Yeah.
new stuff. And unless they have the demo people out there, if you see somebody else grabbing it, you be like, "Hey, is these any good?" And they're like, "Oh my God. Like, listen, it's so good." Or they tell you, "Don't follow the instructions. Do it this way." And like, "All right, cool." So I'm always like that, That drives some people
Yes.
around me insane, but I always do that.
Well, with Creator Camp then coming up at the time of recording this, what are some quick words of wisdom for folks going in, whether even if they've been there before or if they've never been there before? Because we've
If
got
you
new friends, we got old
going
friends.
in with the mentality of, "I don't know what I'm doing and I hope I get something out of it," you ain't getting shit out of it. Let me start right there. If you go with the mentality of, "I don't know what I'm doing, but I know when I come back, yo, I'm gonna have my foot far up in this ass of this content creating thing," you're gonna come back a superhero. So if you're going in as a shrinking violet, yo, shrinking violets against trees get no sunlight. Just say, shrinking violet get no water, trees get all the water, right? So unless you want to be a mushroom and grow out of some shit, I highly suggest you go in tree mode. Branches open, accepting all the light, accepting all the water, and converting oxygen for the rest of the folks to use after you. So I'm just saying, you got choices, dog. You got choices.
Yes.
Your ass is
Yeah. And if
grass
you
or
can
your
go
ass is a tree.
if you can go in like to any event, it's not the elevator pitch because you're not necessarily pitching to people. But if you can just have like a solid, quick way to say what it is you do or what you're trying to do or what, like, because some people are, you're working on getting to be a content creator, but you are not yet doing it, right? Like you're stuck in the pre zone, right? The pre game. Then like, what's the quick thing on what it is you do want to get done, right? What is that?
There you
And then
go.
share that.
So
Yeah.
I just put in like all the little trees. This is all of us, and then the one weird Christmas tree is gonna be Gretchen, and then the palm tree is me, and then now let's put in Paul. There you go.
What was it? It's like a square.
It's a tree with no leaves on it. The book is old.
Oh, does it have anything? It doesn't show
Just
anything.
ain't got nothing. Sorry, Paul. Sorry. I had a little tiny bush. I could put AT in there because she's small. Dude, that was super fun. You just made me come up with a new analogy I had never used before. That's what my brain be seeing.
What about trees and flowers and waters and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
I do feel
we're,
like
we're
a
going to the
mushroom some
forest,
days.
y'all.
I do feel like a mushroom some days. I will invent something dope out of shit, though.
I mean,
It's good.
that's true.
It's
That's
good on
true.
steak.
All right. Well, I'm excited to hang out with all of y'all next week who are going.
Let's
And
go.
I know we'll see everyone at events at some point, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, we're on a mission to like be out here and just be in these streets where we can catch up and see more people. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I really can't wait. I'm laughing at Carolyn. She threw the mushrooms in there. Actually, that emoji is nice. But yeah, listen, just whatever you can, remember that you're doing this for a purpose. And the most important thing that you can do is stay on purpose. And every time you take yourself out of the game, you're backing yourself up. You're taking yourself further. It's hard to get it going. So I mentioned this recently. If you're going to take a parked car and you put it in neutral and you go to push it, all the energy is in the beginning. But once it's going, you just keep going. So every time you slam the brakes, you got to start all over again. And it's really hard to get it back on again. And so this is why people be getting, messed up or burnt out or whatever. It's because you're taking too many space in between what you're supposed to be doing. Even when I do it, when I put too much space in between making my shorts, it'd be harder to get up and make shorts. And so now I'm just like, I'm not even going to try to cute my shorts. I'm not trying not to caption too many of them. I'm just, all the rules are like, oh, you got to do it this way, and you got to put a caption, and you got to have your hook. And when you start thinking about all of that mess, you just end up not making them. But if you just make anything, you're putting something out there. And believe it or not, that's catching you watch time. That's catching you views. Don't kind of really matter, but it's letting people know you exist. So imagine a place with the best ice cream in the world. You never knew when they were going to open. You never knew what location they were going to open in. And you never know what kind of flavors they're going to have. It wouldn't be the best ice cream in the world. Simple as pie.
32 flavors. Open up 32 flavors instead of 31. We got one extra. We got that one extra.
Add a little sauce. Thanks, Lou. This was really incredible. I liked it.
It was a good one.
So you know what to do, right? You can go find me anywhere on the internet at the DOCROCK. I mean, anywhere. Just go look it up. You'll find me. If it's not me, it's this weird Nigerian dude posing to be me. But you can tell the difference. He looks different.
You find me all over the internet at Mary Lou Mandel. And then you'll find both of us in New Hampshire next week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. New Hampshire. I almost said it wrong.
And then in Seattle the week after.
And messed me up. I'll blame
Prepare
Paul
to be
for everything.
sick of us.
Hey, listen, I told Paul, like, if I get there and somebody try to get in the way of my grilled cheese sandwich, we about to fight. I'm going to Cheese Louise, dog. That joint is right around the corner from the telly, and it's so good.
You have been unstuck with creators Unstuck, Doc Rock, and Mary Lou Mandel.
Oh, you know what we say around here? See ya. Oh, my God. That was good. That was super, super good. Let me stop this joint. Na, 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 na.
Yeah, thanks for going with me on that.
No, that was amazeballs. That was super.
Yeah, like you
amazeballs.
said, we're just unstuck in each other. I just like now we're in packing mode. So I'm like, I got to get my mind right.
Yeah, it's actually a good thing. It's almost like pregame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So super, super
We got to
good.
prep to be outside is different to being in the room.
Imagine Gretchen left days ago. now she's
Yes.
now she's in Indiana with Jackson 5. I'm going back to Indiana.
Eden just come to camp.
Yeah, Eden. Just catch a little Greyhound. Just come right
You
down.
don't even have to go to like the classes. Just like go to the grilled cheese place and then come hang out with us.
Yeah, you can just kick it.
We make space for you. We'll make space.
Yo, we got a hallway closet with a pillow and a blanket. she can fit.
All right. So what's the rest of your day look like?
Really packing, filming a video, and playing with Notion.
Ooh, Notion.
But
Cool. I can't wait for you to tell me
I
about
gotta go
it.
down the list and check out the whole packing situation, and yeah, just go from there. But yeah, super cool. And then I got a couple of videos I need to get done. I have some product videos I need to do at camp, and it was going to be harder to do them here. There's small stuff, like my little flashlight. So I'll do this at camp, and then after we're done, we just go outside and I like, here, Lou, hold this camera real quick, and then we can make something cool. So I can't wait to go, and I'm super excited. Super excited.
Always filming.
Ooh, I need to go take my
Always
shot. That's what I need to do. I got my COVID
Oh,
and
yes,
flu
time.
yesterday, and this
Oh.
arm feels like I just got punched like super hard. It's super sore.
Don't
But other than that,
don't forget to pack next week's dose.
oh yes, and I gotta pack my needles, my crack needles. Yeah, see, you didn't just bring your ass. That's how you gotta do. Just come down. Oh, come up. That's right. I forgot
Yes.
Boston's higher.
You're just loitering around. No, she's
Dude,
not loitering.
they
She's always
don't
supposed
care.
to be there.
And there's only one
No.
end, damn it. I don't know why, but there's only one end. All right. Thanks, Lou. I gotta go. People have fun. We'll see. Well, next week we'll be at camp. So the best you're gonna get is little clips of us acting foolish and Paul somewhere in the back taking up like all of the space. Maybe we can set up a little interview in that room that I'm building. I think I gotta call Jill and see if
We say
everything
that
came
every
together.
year. It's not going to happen, but
No, we're actually
record.
building a
We'll record
purpose-built
some stuff.
space. Like that's my whole job this time is to build a purpose-built
Okay.
space. So we actually have a recording spot. We don't have to set anything up. It'll already be built. I'm gonna build it when I get there. Oh my
I see. Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right.
Have a safe travel, safe flights. See all
Bye.
y'all. See y'all
Bye.
when I see you. Bye.
Peace.